There we go. All right, guys. We're on SMW Live here. So we're gonna wait for a couple of people to join here. We're gonna wait a couple of people to join here so we can get started. Now, like I said, this is gonna be different. This is still gonna be different, whenever you are doing different platforms than your original platform that you've been doing things on, things are a little bit different. So people are going to be able to watch this back. So let's get started here. Do a little weather update right now. No severe storms right now with the complex. We have a complex of storms that are going through Arkansas right now. They went through Oklahoma. They didn't bring much severe weather with it. Just some heavy rain, dangerous lightning, and maybe some gusty winds. Those were the main threats with these storms here. So let me make sure, keep an eye on it. There you go, two people. Okay. So one on Natalie's and then one on the SMW Weather Live. So we're gonna continue to work on this. This is, like I said, I'm gonna stay loyal to doing this. You go over here to the southwest though, southwest Oklahoma. There's a boundary line. I want to trace this right along here. You're going to want to watch that boundary line. This boundary line is going to be a very big key role as to what maybe could happen later on. This atmosphere over here is really mostly untapped from about Elk City, Oklahoma, from about Elk City, about here through about here, down through about Seymour. The atmosphere is pretty much untapped over here. So, what then happens is storms could try to develop, and if they develop right along this boundary, they may have just a little bit better spin in the atmosphere. Not saying it's crazy spin in the atmosphere, but it is spin in the atmosphere nonetheless. So, it's just something to keep in mind. Now, that is your severe weather side on this. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch for southwest Arkansas, northeast Texas, northern Louisiana. By the way, hit that notification bell on whatever platform you are watching us from, and we'll continue to bring more content. Continue to bring more content. So we are going to continue to look into this and continue to do our best to be multi-stream platform. That is going to be the goal, is multi-streaming going forward, going to try to become that way. And we definitely need to have TikTok on there too. So downstream in Shreveport, you guys had a complex of storms roll through last night. You'll have another complex that's going to roll through this afternoon, this evening. It's still a few hours away, so you can still do your evening and afternoon plans. I would just keep an eye onto your skies up to the north and northwest because, as you know, that northwest flow is continuing. So the northwest flow continues bringing storms down like this or in a different fashion. We do have another area of thunderstorms that could go up. We've had a few thunderstorms in general over here, but not seeing anything in the way of severe weather. But there is a little bit of spin in the atmosphere over here in southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, as we have thunderstorms that are right around the low pressure system and right along the frontal boundary. Right along the frontal boundary. So just something to keep in mind as we go forward. And these will mostly be your afternoon and evening downpours, but there could be an isolated storm that does try to rotate here in southern Wisconsin. It's not out of the question. Hello, Suzanne. How are you doing? We're continuing to try to pump up this multi-streaming platform mode here because we need to be able to do this. This is a must, and TikTok is going to be a big form of that. So we're going to have to get the stream key from TikTok. But yes, we are live on the YouTube. It's not many people right now, but people are able to watch this later so they can see what's going on today. Now, let's talk about some other areas we're tracking, and that is the dangerous heat. As you will see, I will circle it, make it better presented. In fact, we're going to go to our gray presentation. Why is that important? Because it kind of shows the cities a little bit better. So you'll see this load up for a minute. There you go. It's going to load up and let that roll through. I know people are still seeing that I am on YouTube. Now, one thing I will show you, it's going to pop up on here in a minute. You're going to see all the alerts get brought in. It's kind of loading up right now. Here it is. In your pink or purple, depending on how you see it, is a excessive heat warning. That is a pretty substantial part of California that's under this excessive heat warning. This is very dangerous heat. The heat is dangerous. It's just something to keep in mind that the heat is very dangerous. And these excessive heat watches, by the way, the excessive heat watches go into Tucson, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. We're starting to change over to some excessive heat warnings. And when you see these excessive heat warnings in some of these areas, it's already hot already. And you tack on what we've been seeing over here, it's going to get quite hot. And I think Tuesday through Thursday is going to be a really big key over here. Let's click over here by Sacramento. 11 a.m. Tuesday to 8 p.m. Thursday. So Tuesday to Thursday, this heat risk will be present. And it's bad enough when temperatures are as high as 108 potentially. But the worst part is there's no heat relief. There's no heat relief. So if there is no heat relief, that is going to be a major problem going forward. A major problem going forward. So just keep that in mind. By the way, if you're watching on other platforms, click that notification bell. Hit that notification bell. That way, the next time I go live here, we'll get more people. Last live, we had 9 viewers on. Let's see if we can get more than that. Daytime high temperatures near San Francisco, over here by Sonoma, in the 90s to near 100 degrees. And mid to late evening overnight temperatures only lowering to the 60s to 70s, which is still not good. And power outage risk is definitely there in areas that see this extreme heat. Over here in Las Vegas, I can see some very substantial heat in Las Vegas in the upcoming days. And I do want to show this. Hold on a second. I do want to show this for a second. Give me 1 minute.
Just so you know, on Facebook, Justin Bell says, "Hey, Stormmaster."
I can't see the ones on Facebook for some reason. Okay, thank you. Well, hello, Justin. I can't see your comment over here. That's gonna have to be worked on. We have a lot of stuff we have to work on this. So let's go over here and get our weather stuff going on. Let's go to our pivotal weather. And we like being simple over here. Simplicity is better. So we're going to be more simple. Let's take off the radar and I want to go to the models. I want to take off the radar, go to the models. Right, go over here, go to the Chrome tab, hit the share button. perfection. Go to the Euro and go to the southwestern United States, as we are going to be dealing with this dangerous heat over there. We've had rain up to the north, where that atmospheric river's been rolling through. Let's show our temperatures. And you'll see as we pop this on up, you'll see these temperatures for Monday. Monday's not bad, but we're still going to keep it hot. It's going to be anywhere between 85 to 90 degrees. I do agree with that. 85 to 90. Can't even rule out someone that gets over 90, and even hotter temperatures down in near Death Valley towards Arizona, areas like that. That's not going to be the worst part. The worst part is you don't even cool off as much at night. We're only getting down to about 80 degrees in the overnight hours, so not adequate cooling. So it doesn't let the body be able to survive in the heat. And if you look at these temperatures, this is what I'm worried about. You start seeing some triple digit heat all the way up from Northern California, all the way down the valley spine, where you're seeing temperatures potentially getting as high as 104, 105. Now, this is a probably conservative estimate, by the way, conservative estimate as what we will see. So it's just something to keep in mind as we are tracking this very dangerous heat. And it's not just going to be Tuesday. It's going to be Wednesday as well. One second. There you go. So it's not just going to be Tuesday. It's going to be Wednesday as well. Yes, we do. So Thursday, there it is. You see our dangerous heat able to continue out in California. This is just the temperature. I'm not even showing the heat index. I mean, we're talking temperatures anywhere between 105, 110. This is very dangerous heat. And even closer to the coastline where you have those heat advisories, we're going to see temperatures in the 90s. That's what you're not seeing here. We're likely going to see temperatures in the 90s here, and even warm to slightly hotter temperatures towards Los Angeles. Just something to keep in mind as we're going forward. Now, that's not the that's not the end of the heat. You go over here towards 21, and in fact, I think the final day of this widespread heat is going to be potentially the hottest, as we can see temperatures as high as 110, potentially as high as 115. Now, it's not showing that in the models, but remember, models aren't gospel. And you see these temperatures. I mean, you see 111 down by Death Valley. You see temperatures getting all the way up into near 110 in general. And then you're seeing those really hot temperatures right along the coastline. So it's just something to keep in mind. But it's not going to be a normal heat in California as this player gets involved. As we have a high pressure, and I'm going to draw the high pressure, we're going to do some doodling. Don't worry. We do doodling on the TikTok. We're doing the doodling on YouTube and everywhere else. You see these dew points? These dew points are not for California near 60-degree dew points, near 60-degree dew points. And we'll keep seeing those very humid conditions in California retrospect as we go into Wednesday and even as we go into Thursday. And look at this humidity down here towards potentially Los Angeles, as dew points could get as high as 62, 63. So it's so I'm not going to say it's going to be like awfully humid. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Suzanne. Now we're going to continue to go through here. Yes.
If they said big storms tonight, I mean,
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out why I'm not seeing the comments on Facebook because I did see it before. That's interesting. We're still going to have to work on that. We're going to have to really work on that. So what question is it now?
Coming tonight.
Best chance of storms is going to be kind of southwest Oklahoma, where the outflow boundary is going to be most located. So just something to keep in mind. That's something to just keep in mind there. Now let's keep on going up to bump this up. Let's go over to the GFS on this dangerous heat wave. Dangerous heat wave. I'll be making a video on TikTok about it as well, so no worries. It will be talked about now. See, it doesn't get too hot doesn't see Tuesday being as hot. Oh, there it is. There it is. There we go. And that it took a little later for the heat to actually come in. But yeah, about 100 degrees. About 100 degrees, which is still going to be very hot. And even as hot as 100 degrees, maybe even more. I think this is doing a underestimate of how hot it's actually going to get. Now, this is very interesting. Notice how the heat, the white, goes all the way close to the coast. That's your dangerous heat we're talking about, and even some dangerous heat potentially for Utah. And we keep the heat and we kind of settle it down a little bit, dial it down towards Sunday's NASCAR race in Sonoma. Yes, that'd be Sonoma.
Or ball. There's in some.
Yeah. Yeah. The best chance would be Southwest Oklahoma for more widespread kind of cellular severe weather being a possibility there. That's for sure. Now let's go over to the overall weather pattern using the Euro and go over here towards the continental United States. And I'm going to tell you what, we have some interesting weather for you. That's for sure. It's going to get humid like in a quicker sense for a little bit over to the east, but it's not going to last too long. So I'll show you what's happening here. We have a high pressure that's really building this heat. And you're going like, why is this high pressure over here in Colorado building the heat? Well, when you're having that different kind of flow, I'll show you the flow that we're getting. We're getting the flow. We're picking up some of that moisture and we're throwing it into California. Also, you got onshore flow bringing in a little bit higher humidity. No, it's not going to be dew points in the 70s and 80s, but it is going to have some higher dew points. So we are going to have this higher heat input and higher moisture quality going up into California, where we will have this dangerous heat. We did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning, and then we'll talk about the West Coast here for a minute. All right, let's go back over here to our radar. Forgot to show you all that. Still trying to get used to all this. This is so different than what I'm used to. So different. But the reason why we're getting all this heat is this flow is coming out kind of like this, right? And then you're seeing the onshore flow of some higher moisture, where we're seeing potential temperatures and dew points. Dew points getting as high as about 60. I'm not going to rule out up to 60-degree dew points. So it's still going to make it muggy. Let's go up to the north, though, real quick before we go to our severe thunderstorm warning. So up here towards the Pacific Northwest, y'all started with some good rain this morning, and it's still raining good. We do have some flood advisories already in effect, where an atmospheric river is continuing to roll through. It will lighten up as the afternoon progresses, and then farther off to the east, wind and rain. Wind and rain, Montana, Idaho, maybe northern Wyoming as well. Potentially up into Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia. And you'll see this roll through. Look at the rain that rolls through again. We start getting another round of rain towards tonight into tomorrow morning. And we'll keep that flow. And then eventually we'll really start drying out and we'll potentially start heating up. Just something to keep in mind. Now, like I said, as we continue to go into the day, we're going to talk about severe weather ingredients, etc. We do have a 2 possible severe thunderstorm warning west of Dubuque. Let's go take a look at rotation on it real quick. Yeah, I got a little bit there. You see a little bit here near Delhi, and then you see another one over here south of Dyersville. There's another one over here south of New Vienna. They're not like widespread rotations or not like tight rotations, but they are rotations nonetheless. But overall, what we will see is heavy downpours, thunder, lightning, and higher humidity. The dew points are going way up this week over here, and you'll see that once we show it up in a minute. See if we got any new questions. Hello, Kayla. Hello, Kayla. Hopefully you're having a good one. So we're getting some decent viewership. So it's going to take a little bit to build that viewership up. But I'll show you our dew points because it's really important to show these as we continue to go along. And tomorrow we'll probably do the full storm master weather report. Yeah, see that higher dew points, higher heat, higher humidity down here towards Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, areas like that where you're seeing those purple on the dew point readings. And then we got a heat advisory for South Texas again. South Texas yet again. And what you will see in the next couple of days, we will continue to bring in the higher heat, higher humidity. Amarillo, Lubbock, you're getting a break today. You're getting a good break today. Could there be some storms just off to the east Amarillo? Yes, but I don't see for severe weather right now. And yeah, look at those higher dew points, those purple dew points farther up to the north. You got it farther up to the north towards the I-70 corridor where you're seeing those purple dew points. And those are dew points in the 70s, by the way. So dew points in the 70s. I think our dew points here in the Ohio Valley anywhere between 70 and about 62. So it's going to be muggy to oppressively humid. We do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings to go take a look at. And then we'll go take a look at tropics. And then we'll probably wrap up the stream for right now. Okay. Yep, this is along the line right here. Yep, along the line right here. Between about Ozark, Arkansas, down to Boonville, Arkansas right here. Could have some damaging winds upwards of 60 miles an hour. 60 miles an hour, main threat with that as well. We still have some power outages from last night's storms. They got to restore those. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning northeast of Lebanon, Missouri. And this is going to be for southeastern Miller, northeastern Lake western Pulaski, southeastern Camden County in Missouri under a severe thunderstorm warning with quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. We're not done with severe weather. There's more severe weather threats that we'll have to deal with going into tomorrow. They're not high severe threats, but tomorrow evening, there's anticipated to be some storms that develop out of Kansas City. develop out of Kansas City. And that is our big time cold front. And I'll talk about that later in the week because that front is going to be a big time front. I might even talk about it now, depending on how many viewers we get here. Yeah, we got a few. Going to work soon. IV, we can talk soon too. All right, sounds good. Yep. So we still got the likes and then also a couple people watching. So not bad, not bad. All right, so let's continue to press this forward. And you'll see tomorrow evening, watch those storms bubble up. This is about 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. There could be a couple of thunderstorms over here in the Ohio Valley due to the heat and humidity, and then over here in the Midwest too. Heat, humidity, and there will be some lift in the atmosphere. We could get some thunderstorms to go up. No, I don't anticipate like big time severe weather, but I do anticipate some potentially some heavier downpours, frequent lightning. So if you're out on activity, maybe a church outing or something like that, just keep in mind you could be dodging these downpours. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on these storms north of Kansas City tomorrow. Now, don't hinge on where the model placement is, but it is something to keep in mind. But I'll show you that real big dip in humidity and temperatures. We don't often talk about that in the month of June, but we are going to get it. We are going to get it. So let's go back over to the models again. Back over to the models again. So stop sharing that screen and go over here to share screen, and we'll show you the Chrome tab. Go over here, and show you those dew points because that's the best way to show you how dry this air is going to be. See how the dew points are pretty high to start the week? It won't end that way. I promise that. It won't end that way. Big, sharp cold front will come through. Could create some storms along the front. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Damaging winds appears to be the main threat with those. Watch as this rolls through. You want to see very low dew points, and this is just the model run. Like I said, I like using the Euro. There are a lot of other different models I use as well, but most models only go out a certain range. And look at these dew points from Kansas all the way into the Northeast. How does dew points sound? 50s and 40s in June. I'll take that as a win. I'll take that big time as a win. A winner, chicken dinner on that. So definitely. And we're in for a very cool weekend. I think highs will struggle to get to 75 this weekend for some good areas. I really do. Until we get in the next week, we might get another push of humidity. And then look at this one. This is a major front wants to come through next week on the 13th. Takes all the humidity out of much of the lower 48 and only brings in those 70 dew points to the East Coast. We'll see if that's the case. Like I said, models are models and they will be reacting that way. All righty. Let's go to tropics. I'll tell you what, let's go to tropics. And I'm going to show you a website that we do use here at Storm Master Weather, and a lot of people do. It's called the NHC, the National Hurricane Center website. And it gives you a good indication of what could be going on soon. And do we have any new comments on Facebook? All right. Go to the National Hurricane Center. And this is what you need to know. Tropical activity is not expected during the next 48 hours. We'll show you the Eastern Pacific. There is one tropical interest with nearly 0% chance of development over the next 48 hours for 7 days. Hello, Mama Storm. So we do have that one going on. Let's see what it sees on satellite. Yeah, there's a wave here, and then some waves trying to come off of the Caribbean, and these waves moving off to the east and northeast. Let's go over here to the Central Pacific, pretty quiet right now. Pretty quiet right now in general, as you will see there. So that's what we got. We've been on for about 30 minutes. My average on these lives are going to be about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So we're about there. We're about there. Not bad. This is not bad at all. All right, let's go over here. I want to take that off. And then I want to add the fire risk. Let's go to our fire risk and then our heat risk level 2. So we'll put our heat risk map, NWS heat risk map. All righty. So let's go over here to our Storm Prediction Center. I will show you the slight risk for tomorrow. Slight risk for tomorrow. We do have a slight for tomorrow. Level 2. It's a small level 2, but it is a level 2 nonetheless. It could get expanded. There is a low tornado threat, but not zero. And you see how big the marginal risk is. Goes all the way into the southeast, the mid-south, and even Oklahoma. I could very well see another slight risk going into Oklahoma tomorrow. Tornado risk right now 2% over Kansas City, Des Moines, and Wichita. That's really low. That is. And then damaging winds 15%, and then hail 15% as well. No hatch. And let's show day 3. General thunderstorm risk. It's not even showing a severe weather risk on Wednesday, which is very good news. Very much good news. We'll go over here. Let's pop this on over. Let's get our fire weather risk put on here. Here's your fire weather risk for this afternoon, this evening. Southern New Mexico, Southwest Texas, and then also eastern portions of Arizona. But let's get that heat risk on here, the heat risk map. There you go. Get that heat risk level on here. NWS heat risk. And this is the heat risk. So this is today. And the heat risk is on they basically go from level 0 to level 4. We have level 3 to level 4 heat going on from San Antonio all the way down to Brownsville, Texas for today. And that heat will continue and moderate for everybody else, which the orange from eastern New Mexico, Texas Panhandle, southeast Texas. Here's Tuesday, same thing, but watch what we start doing in California. You start bringing in the major levels of heat, and we'll kind of continue going forward with that. And here's Wednesday, gets expanded even more, which is a major heat impact. Here is Thursday. It's still there in California and Arizona, as well as Death Valley. We will also keep the heat down into Texas, even though it's a little bit not as bad, but still got the level 2 heat wave forecast for much of Texas, as well as the 4 corner states and even Nevada. You'll scroll up and show Friday. Friday still showing the heat, not as bad, kind of moving off more towards the east. So keeping it in Las Vegas, keeping it in Arizona. It's still significant heat. So you'll want to drink water, be prepared for this heat. And then eventually the heat starts taking a back seat. And we bring the heat into Florida, even though Florida has already been heating up. You'll see that. It's already been heating up, but it's going to heat up even more on Saturday. All righty, guys. I think it's time to end the stream. It is, I thought, 35 minutes. Not a bad stream. Not a bad stream. And hopefully you're able to join us on TikTok as this cross-platform stuff continues. We are working on getting, I think it's called the stream key or whatever, for TikTok. So thank you for tuning in to Storm Master Weather. That's the bottom line because the Storm Master said so. Viewers first. Science second.